One other thing. It's often said that older couples aren't interested in sex. And I can tell you, with my couples in their late 70s, mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, it continuously fascinates me the number of women of that age who are asking me for help with their husband because they still want sex. And that's probably one of the greatest news that anybody can have, is that this getting old does not mean that you aren't interested or incapable of enjoying sex. And so, there's a lot of, late 80-year-old women who are making me try to get help for their husbands because they actively want sex, which is great news. And I think I said this on the other podcast. The more you kind of engage in sexual activity, the older you get, from an evolutionary standpoint, to me says that you're telling your genes that you're still trying to make new copies of yourself. And genes understand that if you're still trying to do that, they ought to keep you around. That's why in the village of Acciaroli, south of Naples in Italy, we have the largest percentage of people over 100 of any town in the world. Both the women and the men say that they are extremely horny. So, what is your opinion on men getting vasectomies and women getting their tubes tied? Are there any medical drawbacks to these procedures? Yes and no. The good news is that with the development of microsurgical techniques with operating microscopes, vasectomies and tubal ligations can be undone. It is not always successful. But one of the things that we all have to realize is that preventing pregnancies is a two-person job. It is not solely the woman's job to protect against an unwanted pregnancy. And so this is something that couples have to decide which is the best option for themselves. And we all know that all methods of contraception have drawbacks, including vasectomies and tubal ligation. But the drawbacks 20 years ago, which basically you couldn't undo these operations, are now not the drawback that they used to be.